love doing, and I think a lot of photographers really get into weddings from a hobbyist point of view, and then they fall in love with the wedding genre altogether. But today, with the influx of the high volume of wedding photographers that are on the market, especially younger people coming in, you've got to look at different genres as well. So I've been very fortunate that I've had the opportunity to photograph the opening of the Mall of Africa, and then from there it's expanded even further to do more architectural stuff. So it's been quite nice from a photographic perspective is to incorporate my wedding skills into my architectural skill group as well, and it works very well for me from that perspective. I mean, basically from a wedding point of view, I mean, there are so many styles in weddings today, and whether it be traditional, illustrative, fashion-orientated wedding, a very soft film look type of photography, which a lot of young girl photographers really enjoy using today. And you've got to really adapt to all the different scenarios today at a wedding. The truth is that even though there are different styles of wedding photography, all those styles are really incorporated in the wedding day. The truth is there's photojournalism, there's portraiture, there's a high fashion end in weddings as well. And you need to adapt to the different lighting scenarios and be able to photograph correctly for a couple and what they really want. So yeah, being fortunate to photograph these different genres like architectural, family, weddings, post-production plays a very important role because I've seen with commercial now, you need to develop very quickly. You need to really get the stuff out within a 24-hour, 48-hour process. Often your images are used for illustrative, for magazine, for in-house stuff. So there's not a thing like where they are prepared to wait 8 to 10 weeks for wedding photographs. Wedding is a bit different because you need to have color consistency throughout your wedding images. This thing where people say they can process their wedding images within a week, I've yet to see that fulfilled. Because you need consistency across your images, especially color, and especially when you're printing at a lab, so that there's consistent color across an album itself. That's very important. And I've found from a post-production point of view is I outsource all my production, so I don't actually do the editing of the images itself. We do the selection and the designing, but editing is a time killer. It just consumes your time altogether, and I've found that your success is driven from employing somebody to do your editing itself, and that frees you up to concentrate on your business. It frees you up to explore your photographic technicalities and also to bring the best out in your work. Because if you bog down with editing, as I said, it's a real time killer, and it can kill your creativity as well. If you start shooting volume work, you're not going to have the time to sit in front of your computer all week, just editing. So from wedding trends, what I've seen is couples would like you to photograph their engagement, and we're talking about the real engagement. So you're hiding off somewhere, and the guy's going to propose to the girl, and it's a nice captured moment. That seems to be quite a popular trend at this point in time. And then obviously doing an engagement shoot is also very popular now, and some engagement shoots are quite styled. So clients are dressing maybe in smart attire, they're dressing in tuxedos, and they're using those images itself for invitations. And because of digital, a lot of people are using it for digital invitations out of the market, and people are also doing what we call guest albums, so that couples can actually have their photographs at the wedding reception, and people are signing them and creating new messages for them, or nice messages, should I say. Another trend is motion video films. So again, digital has played a great role in this. I've seen people are using digital cameras now instead of the old film cameras, video film cameras we're talking about now. And couples are expecting more of a lively, funkier, instamatic video, whether it be a 2-minute, 3-minute clip, which incorporates the whole day, is a very popular trend at this point in time. And digital has really given, I think, a benefit to our clientele because they can actually have almost a mini film production at their wedding day, and you can really see phenomenal results. Another trend that I haven't really seen in South Africa, I had a client from Texas, America, marrying a South African guy, and she wanted bridal portraits before her wedding day. And I thought, okay, that's very unique. So she came here to my studio, hair and makeup was done, she got in her wedding dress, and we spent a good 1.5 to 2 hours doing bridal portraits. So obviously it's the best to bring out in the dress. It's to also obviously assist her with the posing as well. But what I didn't realize is that these brides take these images and they print them on large canvases and they actually hand it to their parents on the wedding day. So when we actually shot this wedding at Zorgvliet in Cape Town, the girl had 2 or 3 beautifully printed images that we'd done for her, and she had handed it to her parents as a gift, and there was also 1 or 2 in the reception area. And I thought it was quite a nice thing to do, and it's something I haven't really seen being done here amongst South African couples, but I would really encourage it because it's quite complimentary for the families when they see those images. Another popular trend is the dreamy film look. That is basically a very popular look amongst girls. It's what they call a really white look. What we're finding is the girls and the guys that are going for this trend is the photographers are using very shallow depth of field. So the primary lens would be a 50mm, an 85mm, a very unsaturated look, minimal depth of field, a very blurry type of look, very clean and white images, and very stylized. It's not for everybody, but it's a popular trend, and I can see it still carrying on for a very, very long time. So popular trend now is the first look, which is basically the dad seeing his daughter for the first time. It creates precious moments, it creates memory moments for the photographer, and it's really a nice thing when the daughter and dad see one another for the first time before he walks her down the aisle. So yeah, another trend which is very popular is photo booths. So obviously derived from the old photo booth styles that you used to get, I think, at shopping centres. You used to get in a little kiosk and do a photograph and get a printout for you. It's obviously been taken a lot further today. The other day I was at a wedding where a guy had converted an old station wagon combi and the whole photo booth was in the combi. So he drove up to the venue right in front of the reception doors, and you got into the combi and you photographed your photo booth inside the combi, and it created quite a lovely atmosphere. And obviously the people get prints, the couple gets a print, and obviously the couple who are being photographed get a print, and then a print also goes into the wedding album, and it's very popular at this point in time, and it's a lot of fun, and it's nice to keep people active with an indoor photo booth as well, especially that lull between your main speeches and obviously your dinner and after dinner as well. Okay, another trend with photographers is off-camera flash. I mean, flash units have become so mobile today. The off-camera flash world has exploded from a business point of view. So it really allows you to do nice illustrative shots, using backlight for a flash, using front lights, separating the couple from the background, and it creates a nice cinematic, dramatic feel. But you need 1 or 2 assistants. You can't do it on your own. If you're going to try and do off-camera flash on your own and run from one end to the other, adjusting your lighting, adjusting your umbrellas, and the wind picks up, it becomes a real slow process. So the off-camera flash thing is very beneficial, but if you're very much a natural light shooter, you're not going to have time to do it. You need, as I say before, 1 or 2 assistants to go that route and assist you. And it's very popular, but I'm finding a lot of photographers do it. So, literally on every site you go today, you can see they're doing off-camera flash, off-camera flash. You're going to have to differentiate yourself. So I've been through that phase. I have the experience in it. Couples have requested it. And yeah. Another trend is selfie photography. You wouldn't believe it, that the couples are requesting group shots, and I set up a picture the other day where the bride and groom were selfieing one another with all the people behind them, and obviously they post that on social media and Instagram, and it's a lot of fun for the couple as well. But selfies play quite an important role today. They're part of our lives. Day after shoots I'm seeing are also very popular, especially with your Jewish clientele, because there's so much little time between the bedecken and the hooper and the reception in the evening. So often you're having to do a day after shoot. But I'm also finding couples are looking to do a day after shoot because they want to do their wedding photographs at a different venue for argument's sake afterwards. Obviously it's beneficial for the couple, because what's happening is you've got a lot more time on the wedding day, especially if a client doesn't want her guests to wait around, between after church service and obviously to the time of the reception. And obviously they're relaxed. The photographer has more potential to use off-camera flash, lighting, bring in assistants, and you can create some really beautiful stuff. And you know, if they're prepared to do their hair and makeup, you can get some really nice stuff. Another trend is a post-shoot. So basically a post-shoot is actually the couple getting together on their wedding day before the church service. And again, it's a time thing. And again, you can do a first look setup between the bride and groom, that he sees her for the first time in the wedding dress. And you know, some couples have said no, they don't like the idea, and the others that have said they love the idea. And the big thing is the groom still gets that nice feeling when the bride walks down the aisle, even though he has seen her beforehand. But it doesn't work for every couple though. But it is popular, and it also allows you to not have to go into a very long session after the church service. You might want to just catch the golden light with a couple for half an hour, and that means the guests don't wait around too long. I think with social media, Instagram is becoming more and more popular at weddings. You know, people are sending out hashtags in their emails, or your master of ceremonies is announcing it. You know, so there seems to be this strong trend towards social media, letting family and friends know how your wedding day has gone, doing little snippets, especially with Instagram, and especially for family who are living abroad. It's nice for them to actually see the day unfold, but they might not be there because they are living, you know, far away at the end of the day. So from a lab perspective, an album perspective, my most popular albums have always been the 40 by 30 panoramic, being 80 centimeters wide when you open it. Printed cover, genuine leather. But with ProLAB now, I'm bringing in your Echo bevel and your suede. I think that might take over because the suede is phenomenally beautiful. The Echo bevel has been around, and the glass acrylic surface is very glamorous. It really gives a nice appeal to the album. But now with the new suede, I think it might swing away now into that type of album spec. So suede, I think, is going to become a lot popular because of the clean look, the mock leather, and also the window, and the fact that you can do the engraving. And I'm going to start introducing it now to my clients, and I've now brought it into my pricing structure as well. And I think it's going to set up very, very well. It's obviously 30 by 30 and 40 by 40, and I've printed 50 by 40, but that's a little too big for some couples, you know, being a meter wide when you open it. But it has benefits, your larger albums, because the images have a lot more impact. They're a lot more striking, and you really have to do clean, crisp images, especially when you go that size. And there's attention to detail on your larger albums, and also no defects. You'll pick that up very quickly in a large print, so you've really got to photograph it well, and it has to be in focus. And I've been with ProLAB, as I said, for many years. I've tried various labs, but what's been a great benefit now with ProLAB is obviously their online software. It allows me to upload my album, it allows me to track my album, it allows me to see where in production my actual album is, and it's made it a lot more easy and a lot more convenient. The quality control is fantastic at this point in time. The relationships we're building up with the lab is also very good, and it's nice to actually meet the faces behind the telephone. It's nice to meet them and see what's actually happening. I think it's very important. From a clientele perspective, remember, is that they don't see the lab, they just see you, the photographer, you, the face. So if anything goes wrong with the album, you are the first point of contact. So it's important to find a lab that has good quality control, has got a nice variety of albums on the market, which is very important. And as I said before, the software is fantastic. That has really sped things up, and the turnaround time with the lab is also phenomenal at this point in time, and the fact that they deliver directly to the clientele as well, which makes it a lot easier for a photographer who's sort of outside the mainstream city area. So what's nice about ProLAB as well is the fact that they're often at Photokina, is that the right one? Photokina. And obviously bringing across new products and actually involving photographers and asking what is their opinion on the new products. And it's nice because the norm has always been sort of a full leather cover range or a printed cover range. And now you're offering a new type of album finish, and you're incorporating fine art paper, You're incorporating metallic paper, you're incorporating matte and gloss pages, so you're giving a nice variety to most clientele. You're offering the gesso range, which is really nice as well, and you're offering different sizes of albums, which is really good as well. So what future? Alright, so I've pretty much established myself as a wedding photographer. I also do a fair amount of family photography as well, which I enjoy. But I've really started delving now more into commercial, corporate, and especially architectural photography. So it's been a great benefit being the photographer for the opening of the Mall of Africa, and that has resulted in several new architectural jobs. And I've enjoyed it. I've bought all the relevant equipment for it. I'm learning new things. And it's just nice to do something different. But weddings, I would say, is still mainstream. You really need to adapt well in wedding industry today. The competition is very, very stiff. There are a lot of young photographers coming in the market. You really need to differentiate yourself between being what we call the weekend warriors, the guys who work full-time in the week and do weddings over the weekend. So from a full-time photographer, it's important to collaborate with people. That day where we had our own little, we were single entities, doesn't really work today. It's important to collaborate with labs, it's important to collaborate with wedding planners, it's important to collaborate with other wedding photographers. And I found that's been a great benefit. The more you share with them in your group, the better for you. And you've got to think for your client as well. You can't go and do extreme sports over a weekend and phone the bride Monday, Tuesday and say, well, sorry, I've torn my ligaments and I can't do the wedding. You've just got to look at that. But you've got to have a substantial backup. So it's important to make friends with other photographers so that they can back you up if something does go wrong. And it's obviously important to have an assistant or two at your wedding day as well, just to back you up from that perspective. And also to be successful, because people don't realize the editing process is that you need reliable backups. The thing where you have 5-6 weddings on your local machine and you don't have an off-site backup is high risk, because effectively, if you're going to lose a wedding or your home is broken into and you lose the wedding itself, a wedding costs today anywhere from 100,000 up to 1.2 or a few million if you really go there. So effectively, the fact is that if you have lost that wedding, you've lost all that income or that expenditure that a client has actually spent. So it's a great responsibility from that point of view. And then coming back to collaboration, I said previously video is playing a very, very big role today digitally. So it's quite important to collaborate with video guys that you get on well with. And some photographers are now incorporating video into their packages as well. But you can't run around, and I've been to a wedding where I saw a video guy doing photography and video at the same time, on a little stand with a little instant cam. And I thought, all right, I wonder what the sound sounds like on that video while he was doing photography at the same time. So your collaboration with videos is imperative. And for example, I did a lovely wedding the other day at the Westcliff, and I'd photographed the groom, and the video came an hour later. So the poor groom had to undress again and get redressed again, which is not really a problem, but if you collaborate well with wedding, your timing should be the same thing, so that your clientele doesn't go through that experience of having to undress again and reset up everything. And I think it's important from photographic and video, because video is playing such a strong role nowadays. The collaboration is going to be very important.